All right, buckle up, folks, because today we are diving headfirst into the exhilarating, the unpredictable, the downright wild world of Brazilian Serie A football.
And let me tell you, this season, it's already one for the history books, even though we're only halfway through.
I know, right? It's crazy. We kick things off with all these expectations like Botafogo, they just missed out on the title last year. They come back with this revamped squad, all these new signings,
Yeah, they were looking dangerous.
And then there's Flamengo. Come on, it's Flamengo. They're always in it to win it. They want that championship every single year.
And we can't forget Fluminense. Fresh off that emotional Copa Libertadores win, they were riding high, feeling themselves like unstoppable.
Exactly. Everyone had high hopes for them. But that's the thing about Serie A, right? It's a wild ride. Nothing goes according to plan.
Nope, not a chance.
Those predictions we all made. Let's just say reality had other ideas.
It's true. This season has been a whirlwind. Upsets, shockers, you name it. Teams that were supposed to be a sure thing, they stumbled, they faltered, and then you've got these underdogs exceeding all expectations, playing out of their minds.
It's what makes this league so captivating,
Absolutely. Keeps you on the edge of your seat, that's for sure.
So we've got all these articles, match reports, the works, each one telling you a different part of the story, the incredible highs, the crushing lows. We're going to break it all down for you.
We're going deep.
So you can really get a feel for what's been going on in this season and what's at stake as we head into the second half. Now remember all that hype surrounding Botafogo? Coming into the season, everyone was talking about them. The preseason favorites after that impressive run last year.
All eyes were on them.
And you know what? They haven't disappointed. They came out swinging, playing this disciplined, tactically sound football. It's like Luis Castro, their coach. He's found the magic formula.
He's definitely onto something. The tactical awareness, the way they've been playing, it's impressive.
And then you combine that with the individual talent. Guys like Tiquinho Soares, Victor Sá, forget about it.
Those two have been on fire.
Tiquinho Soares, he's a goal-scoring machine.
Yeah.
And Victor Sá, that guy is electric on the pitch. He just brings this energy.
They've been instrumental in Botafogo's success so far, that's for sure. A joy to watch.
They've made it clear they are the team to beat this year.
No doubt about it.
Now, let's flip the script for a second. Let's talk about Flamengo.
Oh.
Now, Flamengo, they're practically royalty in Brazilian football.
Yeah.
Everyone knows their name. They got the history, the trophies, the passionate fans.
Yeah.
But this season, even with this star-studded lineup, it's like they've been trying to find their groove.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a head-scratcher.
They have all the pieces, but it's like the puzzle isn't quite coming together.
It happens sometimes. You just need a little time to gel, to find that rhythm as a team.
It's true. You need that chemistry.
Exactly. It's not always easy, especially with a new coach, a new system. They're still figuring things out, trying to find that balance.
You can tell they're still trying to find that balance between individual brilliance and playing as a cohesive unit.
Right, because you've got players like Bruno Henrique capable of moments of pure magic on the pitch.
Oh, yeah.
And Gerson controlling the midfield, dictating the tempo.
They have a talent.
They do, but then there are times when they seem to lose their way a bit, lacking that fluidity and understanding that we've come to expect from a team like Flamengo. They haven't quite hit their stride yet.
It's like they're missing that swagger, that Flamengo confidence.
Yeah, maybe a little bit. When a team's used to being on top, like Flamengo, that belief, that winning mentality, it's crucial.
When they start doubting themselves, it can snowball. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Doubt can creep in, and it affects everything.
Speaking of unexpected turns, we got to talk about Fluminense.
Fluminense. It's been a tough one, hasn't it?
They start the season as reigning Copa Libertadores champions. Everyone's expecting them to, keep the momentum going,
Ride that wave.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But instead, it's like they've hit every roadblock possible.
It's tough to watch, especially for their fans. They go from that incredible high of winning a Libertadores to fighting just to stay afloat in the Serie A.
Talk about a roller coaster, right?
No kidding. It shows you, how quickly things can change in football.
For sure. For sure. So what happened? What did the article say about this dramatic downturn?
Well, injuries played a big part, that's for sure.
Yeah, they lost some key players, right?
They did. Marcelo Gonçalves out for extended periods. It really disrupts the team's rhythm.
Those are some big names to replace.
Absolutely. Big shoes to fill. It's hard to maintain that same level when you're missing key pieces.
Makes sense. But I also get the feeling there's more to it. Like mentally, championship hangover maybe.
Yeah. Ugh. The dreaded championship hangover. It's real, Not just in football, but in any sport. You put so much into winning a title like Libertadores, emotionally, physically, it takes a toll.
Drains you.
Exactly. And then add on the pressure of expectations, everyone expecting you to do it again. It's a lot to handle.
It's like trying to catch lightning in a bottle twice.
Right. It's tough. And it seems like Fluminense hasn't quite figured out how to rediscover that spark.
Man, it's a shame, but hey, that's football, right? Always full of surprises. But you know what? While Flamengo and Fluminense have been trying to find their way, there's this other story unfolding, and it's a good one.
Oh, you mean Fortaleza?
Fortaleza. They've been the Cinderella story of the season.
Absolutely. They've been a revelation, this exciting, dynamic style of football they're playing under Juan Pablo Vojvoda. It's been fantastic to watch.
They came out of nowhere. No one had them finishing top 4, let alone being in the G4 at this point in the season.
It's an incredible achievement. And they've earned it, too. They've got this amazing team spirit, this never-give-up attitude.
You love to see it.
You do. And tactically, they've been really flexible, adapting to their opponents, which you've got to give credit to Vojvoda, their manager. He's done a brilliant job.
He's got them playing with this fire. This underdog mentality.
Absolutely. And it's working. They're proving that in this league, with hard work and the right approach, you can achieve anything.
Love it. And speaking of inspiring stories, we can't forget about Cruzeiro. Their return to Serie A was a big deal.
It was. They've been through a lot, relegation, rebuilding.
Tough few years.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I wasn't sure what to expect from them this season.
Right. It could have gone either way.
Exactly. But they've been resilient. After a bit of a shaky start, they found their footing.
They have. It shows their character, that they could come back from those early struggles.
And let's be honest, they've had some impressive wins, beating some big teams. It's great to see them back in the top flight.
It is. Cruzeiro, they're a club with history, with passion. It's good for the league to have them back.
Adds to the excitement. Now, before we jump into the relegation battle, and trust me, it's a tense one, I do want to take a moment to acknowledge the tragic floods that happened in Rio Grande do Sul.
Yes, absolutely. It was devastating.
Those images were heartbreaking.
Mm-hmm.
And the impact on International and Grêmio, 2 huge clubs in the region, it really puts things into perspective.
It does. Football's important, but some things are just bigger than the game.
Couldn't agree more. It was inspiring, though, to see how the Brazilian football community came together, the outpouring of support. Everyone rallying to help those affected.
Yeah, players, clubs, fans, everyone. It was a real show of solidarity.
Really heartwarming to see. Of course, it did disrupt the season a bit, postponed matches, reschedulings.
Logistically, it was a challenge, for sure.
But in a way, it was a reminder of the power of football.
Yeah.
How it can unite people, even in the face of tragedy.
Yeah.
It really puts things into perspective. But, all right, we've talked about the teams at the top, the ones who've had some struggles, the surprise contenders. But now let's talk about the other end of the table, because things get really interesting, really nerve-wracking when you look at the relegation battle.
Oh, yeah. The relegation battle this season, it's going to be a nail-biter, that's for sure. You've got some big names in the mix fighting to avoid the drop. And the tension, you can just feel it.
I'm getting nervous just thinking about it. And I think the biggest surprise, the team that no one expected to be in this position, has got to be Corinthians, right?
Yeah, you look at their roster on paper. They should be challenging for the title, not trying to avoid relegation. It's a head-scratcher, for sure.
It really is. So what happened? What are the articles saying?
Well, it seems like from what I've read, they just haven't been able to gel as a team, There's a real lack of cohesion on the pitch, and it's costing them.
It's like you can have all the talent in the world, but if you can't play together, it doesn't matter.
Exactly. And the pressure, it just keeps building with every loss, and you can see it's getting to them. More mistakes, less confidence. It's a tough cycle to break out of.
It's a pressure cooker down there at the bottom, that's for sure. And if Corinthians are feeling the heat, then Fluminense, well, let's just say they're in the fire. Remember that championship hangover we were talking about earlier?
Oh, yeah.
Well, it seems like theirs has turned into a full-blown crisis.
It's a tough situation, no doubt about it. To go from the top of the continent to battling relegation, it's got to be a tough pill to swallow.
Football, it's a fickle game, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But hey, there's still a lot of football left to be played, right?
Yeah.
Anything can happen.
Oh, absolutely.
Before we get to the current standings, though, I got to ask you about that Flamengo-Fluminense match a few weeks back. Talk about a classic Rio Derby.
Man, that match had it all. The atmosphere was electric. The fans were going crazy. Both teams were giving it their all. It was intense.
Honestly, you could feel the tension in the air.
It was palpable.
And of course, Flamengo ended up winning that one 2-1, which was huge for them, especially considering how up and down their season has been.
Yeah, it was a big win for Flamengo. Gave them some breathing room, some much-needed confidence. But for Fluminense, another tough loss.
The real blow.
It was. And, in a way, I think that match really sums up Fluminense's season so far. Moments of brilliance. You can see flashes of that championship-winning form. They just haven't been able to put it all together consistently.
Consistency is key, and they have been missing it. But all right, let's take a look at the table as it stands after 29 match days. At the top, we've got Botafogo, still sitting pretty, 6 points clear.
Botafogo, they've been a machine. Just racking up the points.
They have. And right behind them, in second place, we've got Palmeiras, as always, a force to be reckoned with.
Always in the mix, always competitive.
And then in third place, holding strong, it's Fortaleza. They're proving all the doubters wrong.
They really are. What a story they're putting together.
It's been incredible to watch. And then there's Flamengo, lurking in fourth, but they've got a few games in hand, so you never know.
Definitely not out of it.
They could make a late push. And then down at the bottom, fighting for their lives, we've got Corinthians, just 1 point above the relegation zone.
Every point is crucial now. Every match is a must-win.
And right behind them, still very much in danger of being relegated, Fluminense. It's going to be a tense finish to the season, that's for sure. So many questions, so many possibilities. Will Botafogo keep this up and finally lift that trophy? Can Flamengo rediscover their winning ways and make a late charge? Will Fluminense escape the drop? I guess we'll have to wait and see. This has been an incredible deep dive, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. Brazilian Serie A never disappoints.
Never a dull moment. Until next time, folks, keep living and breathing the beautiful game.